and gentlemen, to another edition of Fusco Imports 3-flour pizza blend demonstrations. The previous video we showed you how to make the dough. This video we're going to show you how to make the pizza. Stand by. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put a little Crisco, see, on the pan. Why? Not a lot, by the way, because it'll get greasy, but we want to do this instead of oil, like a lot of people do, because it makes it easier to spread the dough. The dough will stick rather than keep sliding around. Okay? That's what you want it to look like. Alright? We showed you how to make the dough in the previous video out of our 3-flour pizza blend. 3 distinct flours go into our blend for making pizza, the best pizza dough you'll ever make. And the product that the end result is going to be, you'll see, it's going to be it'll be a thing of beauty, as they say. So we're going to take the dough out. This has been sitting overnight in the refrigerator. Okay, it's good to make your dough a day ahead of time. Gives it time to rest in the refrigerator. And oh, you can smell it. It smells beautiful. You take the dough out, put it right in the middle of the pan. Then you begin to spread. Just keep going around and around. See how the Crisco holds the dough in place? This is a 16-inch pan. This is about a pound and a quarter of dough, and I'll show you why we don't. Most of the places where you buy dough, they sell it by the pound. A pound isn't really enough. So when you make your own, you make maybe a little bit better than a pound. See? Beautiful. I wish you could smell this. It smells unbelievable. So you're done doing that, spreading your dough. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to get a little spray, some non-stick spray. Actually, you could brush it with olive oil if you want. Let's do the olive oil. It's but you could do it with spray if you want. The non-stick spray. If you're going to do it, you try to get olive oil instead of canola. I hate canola oil. It tastes lousy. It's made from the rapeseed. This is beautiful olive oil. This is not the extra virgin, by the way. Now, the reason you want to do this is because what we're going to do is we're going to let this rise a little bit in the pan. Okay? There. And in the meantime, what I'm going to show you is a Fusco favorite. We're going to make garlic pizza. So I'm going to show you how to make the topping for garlic pizza. So we're going to let this sit. We're going to cover it with saran wrap, the plastic wrap. I'll show you how we do that. And then we're going to make the garlic topping for it. So hang tight. What we're going to do is we're going to cover this with wrap. And I'll show you how we're going to do this. Okay. See, what we're going to do is we're going to put it gently inside, because we don't want any air to get added. Inside the dish, like that. Capiche? Alright. Now we're going to set this aside and let it, because it came out of the refrigerator not too long ago. We're going to let it rise up and get some fluffiness about it. And in the meantime, we're going to make the garlic topping. Now, we got a bunch of garlic. We got a mortar and pestle. Now, if you want to, if you're industrious and you want to stick to the old ways, which are fine, You could put the garlic in there, you peel your garlic, you stick it in there, and you pound the snot out of it. I like to do it the modern way. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut off the ugly ends of the garlic. And I don't know about you, but to me, you know, it's like too much money. You can't be too thin. And you can't have enough garlic. Of course, if you ever spoke to my father, who was the original author of my father's book of Southern Italian Peasants, well, he didn't call it that. He would tell you that you're best off to be sparing with your garlic. And that's because he had a big Roman nose and it was very sensitive. We used to go to church. It's mass, so there were 6 of us in the family. I remember going to church one Sunday, and my father, I looked over at my father, and he had a handkerchief up on his nose because the guy next to him had bad breath. That's how sensitive that nose was. Anyway, so we're going to, well, oh wait, before we do this, because we're gonna just grind it, you know, we're gonna grind this stuff up. I'm gonna get some fresh parsley, and we'll grind it with the garlic. No sense in grinding it separately. Now we have several sprigs of. Some people like to use the stalks, and I'll chop them up and use them in like soups or something, or even my sauce sometimes. But for purposes of the pizza topping, not so much. You know, we don't need them. And you know, boy, oh, it smells so good. Fresh, everything fresh. So we're gonna stick all that stuff in there. Close this thing up. And give it a couple of 2-3 burps. Let it grind down real good. You gotta pulse these things, you know, to let the stuff fall down, get ground up. Okay. Now, that's not as good as I like it. We'll give it a couple more shots. And then we'll show you how to put it all together. So this is chopped up pretty good. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put it in this little bowl here. And in this bowl we have a mixture of oregano, dried oregano, and a little bit of dried basil. You don't want to use too much basil because it takes away. Basil can be overpowering sometimes. So if I had to tell you the measurements, I'd say maybe a teaspoon of oregano and a half a teaspoon at the most of basil. Okay. You can use your fingers. Your fingers are all right as long as you wash your hands, right? Now we're going to pour in maybe a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to mix that up. Okay, you can see that, right? Mix that up good. And then I'm going to add my salt and pepper as soon as I wash my hands. Normally I wouldn't do this. Normally I'd just put it in my hand and throw it in, but because I love my customers, I'll do the measuring thing. Okay, we're going to take a half a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. Okay, and then I use a fork. We're going to mix it up. See? So, fresh parsley, fresh garlic, chopped. If you want to do it by hand, you can chop it up, you know, with a knife. Boom, boom, boom. I wish you could smell this. A half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to say a teaspoon of oregano and maybe a half a teaspoon of basil. That's your topping for the best garlic pizza. Some people call it white pizza. It's not white pizza. It's garlic pizza. This is the topping for the best garlic pizza you'll ever have in your life. In my household, in my family, growing up with 5 brothers and sisters, and now with my own family and 6 grandchildren, guess what? They prefer this over the regular tomato sauce pizza, and I of course make both. So that's your mixture for your topping for your pizza. When we come back, the pizza and the dough should be nice. It should have risen a little bit, and we'll put the topping on, the cheese, then we'll bake it, and you'll see what I mean by Fusco's 3-flour blend pizza flour, making the dough and the pizza the best you'll ever have, guaranteed. Okay, here we are again. You can see that the dough's risen nicely. We're going to take this off, toss it away. Now what we're going to do, see how nice, see how that plumped up? Nice, beautiful. This is called docking, okay? We're going to dock the pizza. Now the reason we're going to do this is so when it's in the oven, the tendency is for the heat, because heat rises, is to, if there's no holes, it'll blow a bubble in the middle of the pizza, which obviously you don't want. So this is like ventilation. Okay, that's what you want to do. That's simple. Solves the problem. Now, we're going to take our topping, okay, and you may not use all of it. You don't want a ton of this on here because it's, you know, it's garlic. It's you know, it's pretty powerful on its own. But if you know, and what you can do is you can even, like if you're making a sauce or something, you can use that as a kind of a base for your sauce, you know, for your macaroni sauce, because they're pretty much the same things. I mean, you know, the herbs and spices and all that are pretty much the same thing. Garlic, basil, oregano. A lot of people don't use oregano in their sauce. My family does a little bit. My father used to like it. I think it might be a Napolitan thing, Naples. Okay, there you go. Okay, now this is almost 8 ounces of cheese. I tell you something, people do, you know, you kill a pizza with too much cheese, too much mozzarella. You kill it, because you don't want, you know, it's not just the cheese. It's a beautiful pizza is a combination of things, especially the crust, the topping. And I gotta tell you something. In my family, we don't throw a ton of stuff on, like, you know, pepperoni, maybe pepperoni, but we don't put a lot of stuff on top of the pizza. You know, if you're gonna do that, make a sandwich. So what you want to do is you start around. You put your cheese around the edge first, okay? Because the cheese has a tendency to walk in the oven. It'll walk towards the center. So keep some out here. And then just spread, you know, a little bit like this. And, you know, keep it as even as possible. And there you go. There's your pizza. Now what I did is I pre-warmed the oven to 450 degrees. And you want to do this you want to have your shelves, one, maybe two steps up from the bottom. And the other one maybe a couple of steps up above that one. And the reason you want to do that is because first the way you want to cook your pizzas, you want to cook the bottom, take it out, not fully. You're going to be shifting it from one rack to the other. Okay? And then I'm going to show you a little trick. See, you don't even need a fancy oven. Look at this. This is an old beat up oven. Works good though. But you see where the racks are? I got one up from the bottom, one space up from the bottom, and the other one's like right in the one above is right in the middle of the oven. That's where you want to be. Also, if I was going to make regular pizza for the kids, because some of them don't like it. Some of them the garlic, it upsets their stomachs, according to their mothers. So we'll go with the red sauce. And if you're going to do it, this is, I'll show you how to make the best pizza sauce in the world on another video. But this is what it would look like. And the idea would be that you would take this and you would have a ladle, right? Like this. And you'd scoop it out and you'd start in the middle and just spread it around like that. If you need a little more, you need a little more. But you don't want to use too much sauce on a pizza, because what will happen is when that pizza comes out, that sauce, the cheese will be riding on the sauce. You'll get it all over yourself. You'll burn your mouth. It's not worth it. So everything, it's like my grandfather, like all the old timers say, everything in moderation. A little bit of everything is okay. Too much, no good. Okay, so you can see what we're doing. It's on the bottom shelf, putting the pizza in the oven. So we're going to slide it in, close the door, let it start baking. See, we're about 6-7 minutes in, and you can see how beautiful that looks. Okay, now we're going to take it out. We're going to put it on the top shelf. See, we're going to put it on the top shelf because hot air rises, of course. We don't want the bottom to bake up too fast, or it'll be uneven. So we put it up on the top, let it bake on the top a little bit, and then I'll show you a trick to get it real nice and crispy, and golden brown crispy. See what's happening at the top of that pizza? See, it's starting to get a little brown, just the way we want it. Okay, so we're going to take it out. We're going to take it off the top shelf, and we're going to put it on the bottom shelf again. Okay, what we're going to do now, and this is a little trick I wanted to show you. We're going to take the pizza out of the pan. I'm going to check the bottom. Oh, we don't even have to. If sometimes the pizza isn't done on the bottom, let me just show this to you. See how nicely it's done on the bottom? That's because of that pan and the Crisco. You take it off, stick it on the grill like that, and let it sit there for a while, for maybe a minute. Not too much longer than that. In fact, because it's brown on the bottom already, what we're going to do is we're going to take it out and we're going to shift it to the top shelf just to get that crust a little nicer. So we'll give that about maybe 3-4 minutes, and then we'll take the pizza out, we'll cut it, and whoever's around will enjoy it. Okay, this baby's done. Now if you have a pizza peel, you can do that. We don't need it. There you go. Garlic pizza. Listen to, see if you can hear the crunch. There you go. Now, didn't I tell you? Isn't that a thing of beauty? I wish you could smell this. Look. Beautifully brown on the bottom. Look at that. The cheese is nicely melted. That's a work of art. So there you have it. Pizza made with Fusco Imports 3-flour blend pizza flour. You've seen the dough on the making the dough on the previous video. Tomorrow, within the next few days, we're going to do pasta for you, and then we'll bake some bread for you using our 3 blend flours. You don't need any more, just a little bit of education, and with our flours, you're going to turn out a heck of a product every time. Thank you for being with us. I know, it's cheesy, but it works. it.